Hi everyone, I'm Devin Herndon. Going to walk you through a virtual delivery of our new 2020 1LT Impala. We're just going to do a simple walk around of the whole vehicle, start from the front to the back, and I'm going to take you on the inside and just run through some technology and features. So if we're going to start from the back here, and I'm just going to show you an inside look at the trunk, and you're going to notice right above our license plate, it's a little hidden, but there's a rubber insert right here. If I just press it, we'll pop open that trunk. It's lift assist, so once you press it, it'll just pop open for us. We have a lot of storage back here in the Impala. Now we have a little floor mat back here, but if I lift this up, and I'll just fold it here, there's a little insert right here that pops up with a little mini handle. And if I just lift that up, kind of hidden, but easy access. We have a donut back here. No tool required. We're just gonna unscrew that cap. Donut lifts right out there. Locks right back into place. Added in here is a cargo net. That's nice for groceries. We can add it in. There's a little hook hidden again, but right here, and also on this side of the vehicle that net is going to insert into. That's great for groceries. If you have, any food might roll around, milk jug, something like that. That just saves space for more groceries, and it's just a little easier access there. This vehicle comes, with a backup camera attached to it. Also, right above the license plate, to the left of that rubber insert is the backup camera right here. That will automatically come on in this vehicle when you put it in reverse. So that's very nice. It has guidelines to let you know how close you're getting to something. Also with those guidelines come these park assist sensors. If I'm in reverse, I'm backing up, I'm getting too close to another vehicle or a pole, this vehicle has these sensors that will beep at you. The closer you get to whatever it is you're getting near, the faster it beeps, just to indicate how close you are with those proximity sensors. Over to the left-hand side of the vehicle, some things I'm going to show you on the handles here of the door are what we call keyless entry, since we do have proximity keys on these. This will unlock the door. As long as you have the remote on you, it's about a 3-foot range for this to work. Now, something that's kind of nice on this vehicle is there's a hidden feature that's a safety feature, where if I'm by myself and I press this button once, it will just unlock my driver's side door. Well, notice that button did not unlock any of the others. That's nice if I'm by myself, late at night, whatever it may be. But if you walk up to the vehicle and you press that same button twice, so I already pressed it once, but I'm gonna press it a second time here. So we heard all of the other doors unlock. So once is just my driver's side door, twice is all doors, and that feature only works on my driver's side door. That won't work on the passenger side or the rear doors, only my driver's side. So that's a very nice feature there. Also, since it is a keyless entry, the key fob here does pop out a key with a little switch insert with the button here. Hidden underneath my panel right here, we can get under there, there's a little insert right there. Now I'm not going to demonstrate this, but I'll just explain how it works. This key fits right there, and if ever the car is dead, the keyless entry is not going to work. So all you would have to do is stick this key insert here, pop off this cover, and you'll be able to lock and unlock the door. Easy as that. So our fuel insert is on the right hand side of the Impala. No switch release or anything like that, just press on it. It's pressured, opens right up. Now, of course, the Impala, like any other vehicle, takes, super unleaded premium fuel. But one nice thing with this vehicle is it's one of the fuel that has that E85 option, that flex fuel. And to close it, just press on it, it locks right into place. All right, now we're inside the vehicle. I'm just sitting here in the driver's seat. We're gonna cover some of the driver's side panel on the door here. Just some easy things to go over. First, of course, we have our lock and unlock button right to the right of the handle there. But for our mirror adjustments, left mirror, right mirror over there, just toggled with the L and R, left, right, and there are neutral spots right there in the center where that little dot is. To control it is super easy. If I want my left mirror, I'm just gonna pop it over with the L. I'm gonna adjust with the arrows, left, right, up, down, easy. I'm gonna go back to neutral here. You can do the same thing with your right mirror. Of course, power windows, all 4 doors. And we have a child lock window lock feature for the back seat. Whether you have children, you have pets that might roll down the window, it just locks both of them up. When the vehicle is on, that'll glow orange to indicate that the vehicle is locked back there or the windows are locked. Over here, we're just gonna move over. Little P here is our integrated parking brake. So we made it electronic now. That saves a lot of room. We used to have the foot pedal down here. We have more leg room now. To activate it is super easy. We're gonna pull in the brake here. We kind of heard it kick on there. That activates our parking brake. To deactivate it, we push in the brake and just push it back in. That deactivates our parking brake there. The dial right to the right of this here, a little up and down, controls the brightness of my dashboard and my touchscreen. It's simple as brightness up, brightness down. It's just a little scroll. Button right to the right of that, little picture of my vehicle, that opens my trunk. So if you have someone running back there and needs to throw something in the trunk real quick, maybe their hands are full, just go ahead and press that button. It just pops my trunk back there. Now the little P, that stands for park assist. We mentioned the sensors on our bumper on the front and the back that beep if you get too close to anything. If you press this button, it'll disable that feature, so of course your vehicle will not beep within proximity of anything. The vehicle is currently off, but if it's on, there's a little light right here that'll go orange. Anytime an orange light is on in this vehicle, that means the feature is turned on. And of course, right below it, we have a little storage compartment if you need to store anything right in there. Pop it. So left toggle over here, right behind my steering wheel, we're gonna see a few words, auto. We have a picture, of course, for our blinker. So these are just my headlights. What's nice about our Chevy vehicles is all headlights are automatic. When you turn on the vehicle, they turn on. When you shut off, after a few seconds, the headlights will shut off. You never have to worry about your battery dying in this vehicle. But if you want full control, there's no problem. I can turn on my headlights so they're on, or I can shut them completely off myself. So you have the option to keep it on auto, but you can always turn it off auto if you'd like to. Otherwise, brights, forward for flash, back to set, right? Blinker, up and down, standard. Left side of my steering wheel here, we have a few buttons. First one I'm going to cover right here is my heated steering wheel. This will turn on when the vehicle is on. This light glows orange. Of course, any orange light indicates that the feature is turned on. So right now we don't have that if I press it. 4 buttons here are my cruise control options. Easy enough. If I'm driving down the road, this right button here turns on my cruise control. If I reach a speed, let's say 55 miles per hour, and I want to set that cruise control, just go ahead and press set. Easy as that. If I'm driving down the road and I need to brake or cancel my cruise control, the left button does cancel it. Doesn't shut it off, but it cancels the speed. Or pressing the brake does the exact same thing. If I don't want to reach back up to speed myself, you can always press resume. That will automatically go to whatever speed you had set before cancellation. And maybe, last thing, if you want to go up a mile per hour and down a mile per hour without adjusting with your pedal, right here, we have a plus and a minus. Just press plus will go up, minus will go down a mile per hour. It's a nice smooth transition so you don't have to constantly turn on and off your cruise control. Here on the right side of the steering wheel, we have what I call the DIC screen control. So DIC, Driver Information Center, that's a screen we have right in front of me here behind the steering wheel. This is easy access. We call it hands-free, so we can just keep our hands on the steering wheel and I can use my thumb. You'll notice these arrows, 4 arrows, will control that screen. So I'm just gonna go up and down. So first button I'll press is the arrow here. So we start with our speedometer. If I go down here, we have a trip A and trip B option. Now, of course, that's your miles on your trip. Now you can clear anything or dismiss anything at any time with the check mark here in the middle. If I just press and hold it here for a second, we notice that cleared the A. If I can go down to B, press and hold, does the same thing. If I keep going, we have fuel range, oil life, tire pressure, all of your vehicle maintenance for the, and let's say you have a low tire, it tells you individually which tire is low. When it hits 27 PSI, when you start your vehicle, it alerts you that you need to fill that tire up. Same thing with oil life, same thing with your fuel range. So anything that's low, this vehicle doesn't let you forget. Every time you start the vehicle, that's gonna be the first thing that pops up on that DIC screen. And once it does pop up, like I mentioned, that check mark will dismiss anything that pops up there. We have average vehicle speed, coolant temperature, and it goes in a complete circle right back up to the top. So you can go up or down with it. Just makes it a lot easier when you're driving down the road. Right button will always be my cancel or reset, just like my check mark. Left button brings up a quick menu, and it's going to kind of mirror my touchscreen, which I'm going to get into here in a minute. But I can go down to audio, and from right here on my steering wheel, I can change my radio station. Just makes it a lot easier while I'm driving, so I don't have to reach over here and I can keep my hands on the road, or eyes on the road. I can go to phone. Now, we're not paired up yet with a cell phone, but once we are, all of my contacts and recent calls will show up right here that I have free access with my phone. Lastly, we have navigation. Of course, we don't have anything typed into a navigation. We're not using our OnStar navigation, but if you did, it acts as, of course, a compass, but it'll also tell you when to take your next turn, how far it is to reach your destination, etc. And I'll just press left and I'll go right back up to the info center here where our digital speedometer is. To the left of those buttons, we have two more. This one indicates a little person talking, and that accesses my hands-free calling or voice command features. This is very important because of the hands-free. We never have to pick up our cell phone if we don't want to, or maybe we need to make a quick phone call. So if I press this button here, we're going to see pop up a voice command. And now it gives you a prompt of what to say in case you ever forget, call so-and-so, or you can even dial a number, call 555-1212. That's a little number it gives you here. You can also tune a radio station. So if you don't want to go back into the audio options on my screen or use a touchscreen, I can press that same button and say tune radio 93.3 FM, and that just makes it a lot easier. So of course we can pay attention to the road. You know what you're looking for, what station you're looking for, and you just say it right into the voice command. My microphone is right above my head here. The same button right below will hang up any phone calls, and it'll hang up your voice command prompt there. So we mentioned the audio and then tuning your radio and then navigation, but also I keep mentioning hands-free calling. That's for your cell phone, and that's the biggest thing, especially with laws now here in Iowa, where if you answer a phone call, boom, right there by the press of a button, that answers any incoming phone call. Button right below it hangs it up. Just makes it easy with the hands-free. And lastly, over here, I have a toggle right behind my steering wheel on the right side. These are going to be my windshield wiper options. Now, it's just my front windshield here. If I pull up the toggle, you're going to notice it turns them on. I control the speed via the intermittent dial here, and it just goes faster the further up you go, slower the further down you go. Down shuts it off, and I can even wipe once just by pulling it down once. So it doesn't turn them on, but it just gives you a little wipe there. And you can spray and clean the windshield with your wiper fluid. And it indicates right here, arrow pointing towards me. I can pull the whole lever towards me here. It'll spray and clean. Also on the steering wheel, on the backhand side here, left side, we have two plastic triggers. That indicates my favorite radio stations. So I'll get to that here on the touchscreen, but you can save up to 60 favorite stations that make it easy access. Where with this up trigger, I press it, will go up through my stations, and then there's one right below it to go down back through. On the right hand side, there's the same triggers, little plastic triggers, where if I go up, it'll actually turn my volume up while I'm driving. The bottom trigger, of course, will turn my volume down. Just makes it easy and hands-free, so once again, I don't have to reach over to the touchscreen here. So now we're going to go over more of the inside of the vehicle here on technology-wise. So first thing I'm going to cover on this side is going to be my engine stop button, which is, of course, a push to start. We mentioned the proximity key with our keyless entry. This just has to be inside the vehicle. It's no different than taking a key and plugging it in. As long as this is inside, if it's even an inch outside of the vehicle, it won't start. It'll tell you no remote detected. So of course it has to be inside the vehicle, just like any other key. I'm just going to set it here in my cup holder. Now we have it in accessory mode, which just means we're running off the technology using only the battery. So our engine actually isn't started right now. We can see the green light, it's on. To shut off the vehicle at any time, just press it. We notice the light shut off, the vehicle's off. We're not running off the battery, the engine's off, completely shut down. If you need to start it, there's only one extra step you have to take, and that's putting your foot on the brake. If you ever forget that, it'll alert you on our DIC screen here. Put your foot on the brake. So it didn't just engine start, press the button. We heard it start right up there. So foot on the brake is the only thing that makes it actually use your engine and not the battery. Now accessory mode, which we were in before, I'll shut it off here real quick, is almost the same, except we're gonna leave our foot off of the brake. So if you wanna run strictly off your battery, I'm gonna leave my foot off the brake. I'm gonna take my engine start and I'm gonna press it and I'm gonna hold it for about 10 seconds. We'll know when it kicks on because all the lights will start. There we go, just like that. So it's roughly 10 seconds. I like just kind of as a little safety net there. Foot off the brake, that's the only difference between accessory mode and starting your engine. So that's just my keyless engine start stop there. Right above it, of course, are my hazard lights, both blinkers if you ever need those, on and off. And we're gonna go over to our MyLink touchscreen. We have a lot of cool features on this touchscreen. I'm just gonna give you a little inside look at all of them. So the first one we have here, the little blue icon, audio, of course, is my radio screen. Super easy. We're on XM radio. Of course, it says it's blocked. We're indoors. We can't get that satellite connection. If you ever need to source between FM, AM, XM, it's my radio button right there, and the same button is right there. So if I press that, we're going to notice we're on AM, FM. One more time, we'll go back to XM. You have 3 sources there. Changing my station, super easy. We have 4 options in this vehicle. First one, we can seek back, we can seek forward. Super simple. We have browse, that just lets you browse through the stations in our area. I can even use the dial here if I don't want to use the touchscreen. We have a back button here, same deal as the arrow right up here. Just go ahead and press that. Will always bring you back 1 page. Tune is a new slick option where you can key in any station you want. I'm on FM, so I can type in any FM station. All we'll do, for example, 93.3. It puts the decimal in automatically, and it takes me right to that station. That's probably the fastest way to change a station, but you have to know what you're looking for. The 4th option is the dial here, of course, a slick way of just tuning through. Maybe you don't know what you're looking for, but you want a quicker option than pressing my search arrows there. We have menu here. This is just a radio menu settings, mostly for our speakers. So of course the first option there is tone. That's gonna be my equalizer. That's the bass, treble, mid-range for the speaker adjustment. You even have a fade and balance for the speakers here for front and back seats. You even have genre settings for your tone. So if I'm listening to a pop song, for example, I can press pop and it adheres the speakers to what it thinks that genre would sound best with. So you have a couple options between classical, rock, and of course country over there. I'm gonna go back. We have auto volume. We have this off, but we have a lot of options here. Medium high, medium, medium low. What this does is every time I increase the speed of the vehicle, it increases the volume of the radio. That works great if you're going down an interstate, a highway, there's a lot of road noise, there's semis. You can adjust this to where if you need to get up and around somebody, but you're listening to your favorite song, you can still hear it while increasing your speed. Of course, when you decrease, it will decrease the volume back to that neutral level. It's off, but you have a lot of different settings for your preference. I'll go back here. Down below, we're going to see a bunch of empty slots here. These are my favorite radio stations that we mentioned with our toggle behind my steering wheel over here. So, like I said, up to 60, when you fill a page, it just keeps adding pages. So, saving a station's easy. Hypothetically, let's say this is one of my favorites. I can, easy as this, press and hold a number. You heard that little beep. Just gives me a little beep there just to let you know that we saved it. And we saw right there, boom, popped up. We have a whole nother station, or page for stations. So that added 5 more. It just keeps adding 5, and you can keep changing your station and setting more. Just like that. Media here is going to be for, there's no CD player, but if you want to connect your cell phone and listen to any tunes that way, so whether it be Bluetooth, you know, Spotify, Pandora, any radio stations, or talk shows, podcasts, anything like that, you can of course listen to through the media. That's just your phone, that's your Bluetooth settings there. The house button, I always indicate house, home, kind of the same thing. If you press that house button, it'll always take you to the home screen. So if we're lost in any of these pages, maybe you just want to get back, kind of reset yourself, just press the house. The house will always take you home. Next one over here, we have phone. That is my Bluetooth settings. Now I'm going to go ahead and just pair up my phone just to kind of walk you through how here. So I'm going to unlock it. Now I have an iPhone, so on the iPhones, we're always going to go to your settings and then Bluetooth. So I have a lot of Bluetooth set there already. So I'm going to go to phone here, and all you have to do is that we're going to let them find each other. So I need to pair my phone, so I'm going to go ahead and go to pair device. Now that's searching. I'm going to go back to Bluetooth and other devices. We see Chevrolet MyLink, Chevrolet MyLink. So we know that's the same vehicle, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. Code's going to pop up. We see it matches 687, 687. I'm going to go ahead and click pair. Yes. Allow. Now allowing this will allow all of your contacts and favorite contacts to sync up to the vehicle. So I want that. I'm going to go ahead and allow, and boom. That is permanently paired up to the vehicle. What's nice about that is every time you start the vehicle, it pairs up automatically. You never need to remember to repair it, press anything. It's all Bluetooth, wireless, automatic. So I just reset myself back to the home screen. My phone is officially paired up like we saw. So I can just click phone, brings up my Bluetooth menu down here. So contacts, they're going to be in alphabetical order, and it inserted every contact from my cell phone there. That arrow will always pop up that menu. Recents will pop up all my recent calls. Keypad, I can dial a number, and you can even call and listen to your voicemails. Phones, as we can pair up more cell phones, you can have up to 7 devices paired up to the vehicle. Only one person can be synced at a time with their contacts, but you can at least have 7 paired up. That way, if at different times you have more than one person in the vehicle, all of your phones stay connected. So that's a great option. Of course, we have our voice command over here. That is the same button we saw on our steering wheel. That'll pop up your voice command prompt, call, so-and-so, just to make it an easy hands-free calling option there. Maybe you don't want to go ahead and scroll through all of your contacts. Just makes it a little easier. And I'll go back to the home screen. Third option here is projection. This is probably one of the most advanced features in the vehicle and probably one of the best. So first thing I'm going to cover here is the iPhone version of this feature, and that's what we call Apple CarPlay. So the one thing you need for this feature is your standard charging USB cord right here. Comes standard with most cell phones, but you can pick them up at any gas station or store. That's just what we're going to use to, of course, charge my cell phone. The second thing you need is a USB port. Now, in this specific vehicle, the USB ports are located inside my center console here. They're located right down here. I'm going to pull this tray out, and we're going to see 2 USB ports right there, a little white icon. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my cell phone, just like that. And I'm just going to unlock her here and plug it in. So we're charging my phone, but we're going to see a prompt come up for Apple CarPlay, since I've never used it in this vehicle. Once you do this once, you won't have to do it again. And boom, this is going to pop up Apple CarPlay. So I'm plugged in. I'm just charging my phone. This automatically comes up every time I plug in my phone. I can still go home to my screen, and we see Apple CarPlay right here. And this is the best feature because I can put down my phone. It completely eliminates the need to ever be on my phone while being in the vehicle. Once I'm plugged in, my whole phone, we can see, is right here on the touchscreen. That way I'm driving. Apple uses Siri, so I can press this. It's going to bring up, just like we saw in Bluetooth, my recent calls, contacts, and my voice command, voicemails. The only difference between Bluetooth and this for phone calls, and I'll go back here a second, is the voice command. So we have the built-in voice prompt for Bluetooth. You're gonna notice if I go ahead and press and hold this button here, it brings up Siri. Siri, of course, is for the iPhones. That's the only difference. You have to press and hold my voice command for Siri to come up, whereas the Bluetooth, you just press it once and it comes up automatically. So it just takes a second longer, but Siri can use all of your standard voice commands you would use with your cell phone, whether it be, make a phone call, tune to this song, whatever it may be. It pairs up all of my music. I don't personally use Apple Music, but if you did, it'd pair up all of your songs, your playlists, your favorites. It puts your whole phone right here on the touchscreen. And of course, we have maps. Maps right here. I don't even have to touch my cell phone. I don't have to look at it. I can put it down. Boom, right here, I can search a destination. So it brings up points of interest. If I'm in a new area, I don't know what's around, you can use that quick menu there. I can go back. Just like I mentioned with Siri, you can tell her a location to go to. For example, I will use Subway. I could say, take me to Subway. It'll pop up all of the local Subways in your area. So you can use points of interest, you can use quick searches, anything like that. If I just touch the screen, it pops everything back up. I can zoom out, zoom in. Easy as that. And you can even change your view, 2D, 3D. Heads up, just like that. If you want to look a little further down the road, just everything you can do with your cell phone, you can do right here on the touchscreen. Siri will talk to you through your speakers, tell you when to turn, how long it'll take to get anywhere. It's really neat, and it's a lot safer. Everything's hands-free now. We can always just keep our hands right on the steering wheel. This little dial down below always takes you back to your home screen. It's almost like my house button here. It's just a quick menu right there. Now playing is going to be whatever you're using, whether it be music, podcast, any music apps or streaming services. That's going to be whatever you're listening to in that specific app. Of course, podcasts. That's our podcast for our cell phone. If you have calendars, anything you mark in your calendar, it will pop up and alert you on this screen. And a big thing with Apple CarPlay is going to be your text messages. It syncs up every text message in the vehicle, and anytime you receive a text, this is big, it'll prompt you on your touchscreen. So if I'm driving down the road and I receive a text message, it'll display right down here on the bottom, text message received from blank. Now it's nice, since you have Siri enabled in the vehicle now, you can click on that text message, Siri will read it out loud to you. That completely removes the need to text and drive, or of course look at your cell phone. She'll read it, and when she's done reading the text message, she prompts you, would you like to reply? It's a simple yes or no question. Yes will enable talk to text, and I can drive and talk whatever I want to send, and Siri will send it for you. Without ever having to pick up your phone, you can text in the vehicle. Keep your eyes on the road. It's a lot safer. I'm going to go to the next page just because I have my Spotify app here. So that's just the music service I use. Any streaming service, whether it be Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, etc., they have to be streaming services. You will not get social media. You will not get videos such as YouTube on the touchscreen. So it's only streaming apps. I have Apple Maps, but even if you have Google Maps or Waze Maps, those will work with Apple CarPlay as well. So that's going to be my Apple version of Apple CarPlay here. Once I'm plugged in, it automatically pops up there for Apple CarPlay. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and unplug my phone, and there's one other feature for Android phones. So now we're on an Android phone, and it's the same process for this as the Apple in terms of plugging in your charging cable. Of course, we're charging our cell phone, but there is one extra step you have to take, and that is downloading the Android Auto app. Android Auto right there. It's a free app in your Android Play Store. You have to download it. It just downloads the software to your phone. You don't even have to do anything with the app. It just has to be downloaded. Once you're plugged in, just like the Apple, pops up here. The menu, the display looks different, but it's all of the same features in terms of having all of your streaming services right here in the vehicle. Of course, with Android, we have Google Maps but it works the same as Apple Maps. You have your recent places, your quick searches right there if you need to type in an address. Now, of course, you cannot type while you're driving. You have to use your voice command that we keep mentioning here. Same buttons right down there. The difference here is we use Google Talk Assist rather than Siri for the iPhones. But just press and hold for a few seconds will pop up that Google Voice. This menu is different also. You have the little dots on the iPhone. This one here is your home button. That'll bring you back to the quick menu here for all of your services. And just like the iPhone, it pairs up all of your music, your playlists, anything you have saved to your cell phone, streaming wise, will be right up here as well. And of course, like our Bluetooth, it pairs up my phone with my contacts, my favorites, and of course my recent calls. So this is all the same, which makes it easy. It's just a quick menu that's a little different in terms of Google Voice. That's gonna be the biggest difference here. If you wanna make a phone call, you have to activate your Google Voice. If I just press and hold this, we heard it beep there. So my phone's listening to me, I can make a call that way. And I'll just hang her up real quick, just like that. The Apple CarPlay went left to right in terms of menus. On the Android Auto, we just scroll up or down. Now we have some MLB networks. NFL will work as well, I've noticed. Any maps, whether it be Waze, Google Maps, and of course all of my music streaming services, Pandora, Spotify, etc., they all sync with this as well. But of course, just like Apple CarPlay, we cannot get social media, we cannot get videos such as YouTube on our touchscreen here. It's just streaming only, just so we can be hands-free and we can still pay attention to the road while we use all these features there. So we just have to plug it in. We're charging our phone at the same time we're using this, and we just plugged it into the same USB ports we had in our center console here, just like we did the iPhone. And just like the iPhone, I can go home, boom, right there, quick access. So you don't have to stay on that screen if you don't want to. You can just go to the home screen or unplug it. We'll disconnect. And if you unplug it and you had your phone paired to the Bluetooth, which we did on our iPhone, it pairs your iPhone back up automatically. So the second you plug in, it disconnects Bluetooth, but once you unplug it, it'll pair you Bluetooth right back up, all of your contacts and your recent calls, just like that. We're back to the home screen here. We're just gonna skip on down to the settings. This is gonna be your standard vehicle settings. Pretty much everything we just went over through the home screen, and then a little more extra stuff here. So the first one, of course, we have our time and date. Set and time, set date. Now, if I click on set time, we have full control, or we can do auto set, which turns on cellular network, which means, you know, daylight savings time, it'll adjust automatically for you. And of course, if you go to a new time zone, it'll switch that as well. I'm gonna go back here. We have it set to military time, where I can just go up and adjust it that way, or I can go to my standard time there and adjust your hours that way. So it's fully customizable to your preference if you prefer military time or the other. And then of course auto set, if you want, you don't have to have it on if you don't want to, but it's nice to do that all automatically for us. Now I'm just gonna go back here, set date, same deal, change your date. You can have it set to auto set if you'd like, or of course you can have complete control over the vehicle. Language, of course, is just changing your language for the vehicle. The display language, we have, of course, French, Spanish, and English there for your three options. Valet mode is super nice. This is going to bring me right back down here real quick because we have a button right here that opens and closes my touchscreen just for a little bit of storage under here. Now, valet mode goes perfectly with that feature because if I click on that, it brings up a lock keypad. So I can enter in any code, and this code does not save, so you can use a different code every single time you're in the vehicle. But I'm just going to use a simple 1, 2, 3, 4. You enter whatever code twice, and it's going to lock up my vehicle. You're going to notice I can't go home. I can't do anything with it. I can't even open that up. So if you want to store anything behind the touchscreen, if you don't want anyone messing with your settings in the vehicle, whatever it may be, you just want to lock it up real quick. The second you get back into the vehicle, enter in that same PIN, unlock, boom, we're right back to where we were. So that's just settings, valet mode. It's going to pair back the phone, and then boom, right there, valet mode. If you ever want to type in that code, that goes great with the opening touchscreen there if you ever need it. Radio, these are all the settings we're pretty much already playing with on our radio screen. Those favorites you can add and delete if you need to. Simple as this. Delete, done. So boom, all the favorites we already saved, we just deleted out of there. Number of favorites, we have it set to auto where it kept adding pages as we saved them. Maybe I just have 5 favorites. You can set it to that, and you can just keep going down with the numbers there. Audible touch feedback. Every time I press it, it's a little faint, but you can hear a little chime there. That's just turning it on or off if you don't want that. And auto volume were the same auto volume settings we saw on the radio, where if you increase the speed, it increases the volume. You can adjust that right here under the vehicle settings. So those are just your radio options there. I'm going to go down. We have vehicle. Vehicle is where most of the settings are going to come from. Climate and air quality. You can turn on auto fan speed, auto defog, and rear defog when you remote start the vehicle, which we'll show you here in a bit, where if you wanted to auto defog, you can turn that on or off. Completely up to you. We'll go back here. Collision and detection. These were those safety feature alerts where we have lane change alert, where if you were switching lanes and you go over the painted line, this vehicle is going to beep at you. Okay, it's just a nice little safety feature. You can turn that on or off if you don't want it to chime. I can go back and you have rear cross traffic alert, where if let's say I'm backing out of a driveway and a car is coming down the street, this vehicle will alert you. It'll beep at you. It'll tell you that there's a vehicle coming. You can turn that on or off from right here in the settings. Those are 2 great safety features that, of course, I recommend leaving on. Comfort and convenience. Chime volume, same deal. This is going to be the chime volume for the whole vehicle, not just the radio like we saw before. So I can turn up how loud that chime is, and I can turn it down to no chime at all, completely your preference. And I'll just go back here again. Lighting. These are going to be your vehicle locator lights. So if you lock your door with your key fob, it honks and it lights your parking lights and your headlights, of course, just so you can locate the vehicle. I can go back, and of course our exit lighting, that's going to be the lighting for the dome lights up here, to how long you want it to take to shut off the lights after you've exited the vehicle. All preference, it goes up to 120 seconds if you want the lights to stay on just a little longer than normal. Comfort and convenience. Oh, sorry, we already played with that. Okay. Power door locks right here. So this is going to go with your keyless entry and your key fob here, where unlocked door anti-lockout. So we're going to actually turn this on, so where our doors don't lock on us when we close the vehicle. Maybe we leave a key fob in the vehicle, because in this vehicle with the push to start, if you leave the remote in your vehicle, it's going to alert you. It gives you a nice little honk of your horn just to let you know, hey, you left the keys in here. And another great thing with that feature is if you ever leave the vehicle running, maybe I didn't press that button hard enough, and you get out, it's going to honk on you. So it's just to let you know, hey, you left the vehicle running here. You need to get in, you need to shut it off. So this vehicle is very good about reminding you so you don't forget anything. And then remote lock, unlock, and start goes with the remote start with your key fob. So if we remote start it, we have light feedback. We want it to flash the lights so we can see it from a distance. Maybe you can't hear it, but you can see it. The lights flashed. Okay, I know that my vehicle just remote started. It's a nice visual indicator that you've done that, because sometimes you're remote starting from quite a distance away. We have remote lock feedback, lights and horn, or we mentioned the lights flash. So we can have it just flash the lights, or we can have it where the lights don't flash and it's just the horn honking at us. I prefer both because I like having that audio and visual feedback that I locked my door and I remote started the vehicle. So if you're a greater distance away, it's nice having that feedback. Remote start heated seats. This is great. We have it on. The heated seat buttons are right down here, so you don't even need to really mess with those too much, because when we have it on, you remote start the vehicle, it turns on your heated seats automatically. Now, one thing to note is if I were to turn on my heated seats, we're going to notice that the lights come on. When you remote start the vehicle, these lights will not come on. The heated seats will be on, but there will be no visual indicator on the seats here that the lights or the heated seats are on. So don't panic if you get in and you see that those aren't on. The lights will not come on when you remote start the vehicle. The vehicle has to be on for that to happen. And we'll go back a page here, and I'm going to go back to the standard settings. Bluetooth was everything we played with our cell phone there, whether we want to pair a new device or delete a device. So it's going to look for a phone. I don't need to pair anything right now. Device management. So we have the Android and the iPhone. You can delete them right off here if you needed to. Ringtones. You can just set specific ringtones for your vehicle. You have to do that through your actual cell phone. And then, of course, voicemail numbers. You would just type in your number for your cell phone to activate your voicemail. So whatever your cell phone number is, just type it in. You can do that from the Bluetooth screen as well. I'll do a quick reference back to that under voicemail. So it already has the number saved here, but if you ever want to change it to a different phone, you would just type in the cell phone there. I'll go back to settings. Apple CarPlay, that was plugging in the Apple phone, and of course Android was the same deal for the Android phone. Just like Bluetooth, it's a quick menu where I can turn that feature on or off, and you can add and delete devices. Same deal, if you don't want any phones paired up anymore to it, you can just go ahead and delete it out of there. So it's going to be the same thing with the Android version. Turn it on or off, or of course we can delete those out as well. We have display, which is just easy enough. I can turn my display completely off. Maybe it's nighttime, the lights are a little bright, we want it off, we're not using the touchscreen. I can press any button in the vehicle, doesn't matter what it is, it'll always turn that back on, just to make it quick and easy if you're driving down the road. You can calibrate the touchscreen of how hard you want to press it. If it's a little too much and you want to lighten it up, you can just fully to your control customize how much you want the touch calibration to be there. And I didn't do anything with it, so nothing's saved. I'll go back to display. Rear camera. Of course, we have a backup camera when we put it in reverse that we mentioned at the beginning of the video. Guidelines here are going to be a red to yellow line to indicate how close you are getting to any object in the vehicle. So when we go over the backup camera, we'll see a little more in depth of the guidelines, but you can turn that on or off at any time. Some people like the guidelines, some people don't. It's all preference. Rear park assist symbols. Those are the, of course, sensors on your bumper back there that beep if you get too close to anything. If you don't want that on, you can shut it off once again right there, just like you could over here to the left of our steering wheel. And then, of course, return to factory settings. That's going to wipe everything you have saved in the vehicle, whether it be your radio, your phones, everything on the touchscreen back to its factory settings, and just resets everything. So all you would do is that, restore vehicle settings. You can clear all of your private data. That's just your cell phones and your Apple CarPlay and your Android Auto. And then, of course, you can restore all of just your radio settings. Maybe we want to leave all of our phone info in there. So completely up to you. But if you ever want to reset anything, that's a quick and easy way to do it right there under the settings. So that's a quick look at our settings. I'm going to go back home here. And right to the next of it, we have text messages. Now, this is a little different than the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto. If I receive a text message through Bluetooth, which is completely wireless, we still get a text message prompt right here into the vehicle. The only difference is I cannot talk to text reply. It'll still read it out loud, but the only thing I can send are quick messages. So predefined messages here, I can send back driving, can't talk right now, I'll call you later. If it's a simple yes or no, it gives you a yes prompt, a no prompt, little things like that, but I cannot speak out a full text message. That is the difference between the Apple CarPlay texting and the Android Auto texting compared to Bluetooth texting. I still receive my messages. I cannot talk to text back. It sends a predetermined message, just a quick one, to let them know that you are driving. So it's still safe, hands-free, but you don't get that full texting feature that you do with those other two. But the benefit of that is I'm wireless, I'm not plugged in, so maybe you don't have a cord with you and you're using just Bluetooth, you can still receive your messages without having to pick up your cell phone. So it's still a lot safer than actually texting and driving. And then the last features we are going to touch up on here are our OnStar features. OnStar is a built-in feature with all GM vehicles. Basically your safety and security features and your navigation features. So the first one we see here is OnStar navigation. I'm going to click on that and we're going to notice just a compass pops up. OnStar is a service that we provide, and the modules are right up here if you ever want to contact them, and I'll go in a little more in depth with these later on in the video. But one cool service you get with OnStar is navigation, built-in navigation of the vehicle, where if I'm going on a trip and maybe I don't have my cord for the maps or no GPS, or maybe I'm just paying for OnStar and I want to use their services, all I do is I press this and I call them, and I just give them an address. Wherever I want to go, give them an address or name of a place. They will put the map itself on here so you can follow a navigation, and they hang up and they just leave you to your trip. So a preconceived notion is you stay on the line with them and they talk you through your trip. They'll actually hang up and they'll just let you follow the navigation map that they put up on the screen. If you have any issues, anything happens, disconnects, you call them right back and you can pick up where you left. Easy as that. It's just one phone call away, lasts about 2 minutes. So very easy, and that's just the OnStar navigation. OnStar here is the same button as right up here that we were looking at. That's our services menu. So I can press that and the voice prompt comes up where I have all of their services that this vehicle comes with. Wi-Fi, which I'll touch up on here in a second. Take me home. You can set up a home address where no matter where you're at in case of an emergency, this will pop up a navigation system to take you home. We have directions, which are the OnStar navigation that we were just looking at. And make a call is going to be the same deal for the blue button here. They're doing minutes for phone calls. It's a paid service you would have to come up with. That's going to be your hands-free calling there. So it's just a quick menu there. She's going to listen to us that whole time, so I'll disconnect there. So that's just a quick OnStar menu if you want to look for something, but you maybe don't want to make a phone call to them or talk to anybody. And lastly, here is apps. You have a built-in Wi-Fi hotspot inside the vehicle. Indicates right up here, Wi-Fi, it's 4G LTE. It is very high-speed internet. Right here, internal, we're not bouncing off any towers or losing signal. It works great. This is an OnStar provided service. So of course, when you buy a new vehicle, GM provides you a free service of OnStar for a certain amount of time. So that's where we're getting that signal right there. If you ever want to continue this Wi-Fi package, it's $20 a month for unlimited Wi-Fi, and they have one smaller plan. It's $15 a month for a 3 gigabyte plan. So they have two options there. Both work great, high speed. Just like your cell phones, you can have 7 devices connected to the Wi-Fi. So maybe you're on a nice vacation, a road trip. You can pair up a laptop, a tablet, your cell phone. Any passengers in the back seat can watch movies. You don't have to worry about losing the signal like you would through cellular data, where you're bouncing off of a cell tower. You're maybe going through mountains or hills, and you just don't have that connection where it's stable in here. The module is built in. We have full Wi-Fi access, just like we would at home. So it's really great. You don't have to worry about dropping any phone calls, anything like that. I'm going to real quick go back into that OnStar menu because we saw at top we have Wi-Fi. And with that, here's my username up top. That's what will show up on your device, and that's the password you would type in. Now, when you actually set up your own OnStar service, they'll have you change that username and that password to your full customizable preference. Since it's your vehicle, you can personalize it a little bit. You do not have to use the one that the vehicle comes with. But it's easy access right there in case you ever forget. To one button push away. With that Wi-Fi service, you get apps. It is just a standard app store like you would get with your cell phone, where you can download apps that are streaming services. Music apps like Spotify, Pandora. You can even get magazines like People Magazine, or you can get newspapers like New York Times, anything like that. So I'm just going to put in my name here. I'm signing in as a guest, so it's not going to save my memory here. And I'm in the United States. So when you actually purchase your own plan, you can customize a little more in detail. But since I'm just doing it as a guest, I'm just going to have a little quick menu prompt here just to agree to some services that we can access that app store. So this is all the guest version. It's going to be a little more information if you're doing just yourself and you pay for the OnStar services. Back to the home screen now. We haven't downloaded a bunch of apps, but we can go to the next page and there is one more app downloaded, and that's My Chevrolet. This goes with an app you can download to your cell phone with the same name, same icon, My Chevrolet. This is an app we usually set you up with when you purchase a new vehicle. It is, of course, through OnStar, where from that app, if you have an account created, you can lock, unlock, remote start your vehicle from this app. You can also customize all of those Wi-Fi settings we were talking about, and you can fully customize your vehicle to your preference. You can watch videos on your vehicle. If you ever lose your owner's manual that we give you, it'll have the whole owner's manual right there on the app. So it's a great app to go with your vehicle. It's basically a buddy app for it. If you need roadside assistance, it has the phone number on that app that you can call. You can even schedule maintenance appointments for that app to your preferred dealer of choice that you have saved. So this app goes with the app on your cell phone. You just have to create an account, which you do when you set up OnStar with every new vehicle purchase. So by the time of you purchasing the vehicle, you should already have an account for that set up. But if not, it's super easy. It takes probably less than 5 minutes to do. So we'll go back to the home screen there. So that's the home screen, quick, easy guide. That's the touchscreen MyLink. We saw the screen opening and closing. We saw the house button that always take you back to the home screen here. Back always takes you back one page if you don't want to go all the way home. Radio and media, like we saw before, will always take you to the radio screen there, and I'll go back home. Volume, up and down, is one dial we skipped over here. And of course, power mutes it completely if you don't want any sound coming through. And you can just turn it right back down there. Below that, we have, of course, our dual temperature climate control. So, full dial, twist knobs here on both sides. We can go all the way to low, which is going to be our 60 degrees to 59 right there. All the way up, our high is our 90 degrees. So pretty much anywhere in between there, 60 to 90 is our temperature control range. We have dual climate, so I have my side, they have their side. But let's say I'm by myself in the vehicle and I don't want to reach over here and adjust this climate. You have your sync option. Sync will always sync this side to your side, so you'll notice I have complete control of both sides there. It's just convenient if you're ever by yourself and you don't have that second person adjusting their temperature control. We have our air conditioning option. Like I mentioned, any orange light that's on is the feature that we are using. We have recirculation right here, which stops any outside air from coming into the vehicle. So our vents are locked, they're closed. We're circulating the air inside here. And what's nice about that, a lot of people don't know, is if it's ever a hot day out and you want to keep it cool in here, if you don't have this turned on, the hot air coming in takes a little longer to cool off because we're trying to cool it off with the air conditioning in here. So if I lock that, that hot air is not coming in here anymore. We're just circulating the cool air. It'll be cooler faster and it'll be cooler longer. So that's what the recirculation does. It just stops the outside air from coming in. Turn that back off there. Of course, we have where we want the air to come out of the vents here. Just my face, my legs down below. We have our legs and our front defrost, and of course our front and our legs here. So 4 options just a press of a button there. Max front rear defrost. So if I press that, you notice it shuts off these options here. We're only coming out of our front, and we have our rear defrost. So front and rear defrost there. Of course, we can just go right back to that at any time if you ever need to defrost your windshield with the heat. And the last option here is auto. If you press that, works kind of like a home thermostat, where if I have it set to 60 degrees here, when internally we reach 60 degrees, it shuts the vent off. So we're already sitting here at 60. We're going to notice the vent shut off. There's no fan coming through, nothing, no air is blowing in. If it ever heats up at all in here, it's going to automatically kick on the fan, get it back down to 60. It's basically going to maintain that temperature just like it would at home if you have a temperature set on your thermostat. So it works exactly the same way. You can shut that off at any time just by adjusting your temp, pressing it, or turning your fan up. So I can go from auto to any of these to go back and forth. So just like that. And power on and off in the middle just shuts off your whole vent, shuts off the air conditioner, and just shuts everything completely down, and it just turns back on just by the press of a button or by twisting your fan speed here. So just a little quick little guide on that one. Now hidden down here is one 12-volt plug-in, so a charging port. Just a little flick of a cap there. This is just a little compartment if you need to throw change or anything down there. But what's slick is this right here. Just pop it down, locks it in place. Just press of it, opens it up. So it's just a little sleek design there that can hide it. If you just have some loose change you want to throw in there, you can just shut it. Just gives it a nice sleek look here. A little hidden compartment, which is really nice. Of course, we have our cup holders here. I'll move the key out of the way. And we briefly went over the heated seats down here. So the light on, we have a back option, so it's just going to heat up my back here. And then you have 3 light indicators. That's your temperature adjustment. So 3 lights is the hottest it can be. If I press it again, we'll go down to 2 lights. That's kind of your medium setting. And 1 more is low. Your 4th press will always shut it completely off. And that's going to be the same thing with my back and my bottom here. 3 lights to indicate your temperature. I have my side, and the passenger has the same thing on their side. And of course, my traction control here, which every vehicle has. Traction control is always on in a vehicle, but let's say I'm stuck in, a parking spot. It's a little icy and my tires are spinning, right? We need a little extra traction. We're going to shut this off. It's going to make my tires spin a lot faster to help me kind of bust out of whatever spot I'm stuck in there. You'll always want to turn this back on, because if I'm driving down pavement with my traction control off, like I said, my tires are spinning a little faster. That's going to give me not very good fuel economy. So you're always going to want to keep that on if you're driving on pavement, if you're not stuck, because you're going to get better fuel economy. It's going to be a lot better on your tire tread as well. It won't bulge your tires as fast with your tires spinning so fast there. So that's just your on and off traction control. A little quick guide on that as well. We're just taking a quick peek in the back seat real quick. We have a few little things to go over, and the big one I wanted to point out was the 120 volt plug-in, 400 watt plug-in right here. 2-prong right here, or a 3-prong for most laptop chargers, tablets, stuff like that. This is really nice for road trips. If you have anything you need to do a fast charge on, whether it be cell phone, tablet, laptop, you don't run anything too crazy on here, no power tools, anything like that, because you are of course running off the battery in the vehicle, but this is a quick charging port. You also have one more kind of hidden right down here. It's another 12 volt plug-in if you have an adapter for that, just like we had in the front seat. So 3-prong 120 volt plug-in or a 12 volt plug-in down here, standard in our vehicles. So next we're going to cover the remote start function of the vehicle. One thing to note, if you ever have 2 keys, they both have to be outside of the vehicle. If I try remote starting the vehicle with 1 key still inside, it will automatically lock your doors and it won't remote start. Obviously we could still just unlock it and get that key out, but it will lock your doors and it won't remote start. So both keys out of the vehicle. And on that function, to remote start these vehicles, we are going to press the lock button twice. In this half circle, we're going to hold for about 5 seconds. That'll remote start the vehicle. So I'm just going to go ahead and demonstrate it. and we're gonna look for that honk. So I'm gonna hold that circle, and we're kicking on that remote start. Now the remote start in our GM vehicles, 10 minutes, the vehicle will shut off, and you can remote start it one more time for another 10 minutes before you actually have to get inside the vehicle and start it yourself. All right guys, hope you enjoyed the virtual delivery today. Hopefully you learned some things. If you have any questions at all, of course you can call us at Karl Chevrolet or stop by anytime at The Rock, 1101 Southeast Orlable Road, Ankeny, Iowa. That's Karl Chevrolet. Come in and see me. We can answer any questions you might have.